It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and we'll see who rules the skies in today's battle. It's the Baltimore Ravens and the New York Jets, and it comes your way next.
Well, Brock, the fans were out and shouting J-E-T-S Jets well before the gates opened here, and now they fill the stands of MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Joined by a former NFL quarterback up in the booth, Mr. Brock Heward. I'm Kate Scott, and Brock, you can brag if you'd like to, because I know you had quite the big arm in your days with the Huskies and the Seahawks in Seattle. Well, we've got a couple of quarterbacks here who also know how to push that football down the field.
Yeah, you got a couple QBs who are going to keep these defenses honest today, because the moment they get greedy in coverage or get too aggressive in the pocket, either of these quarterbacks can drop a dime, drop a deep throw right over them for big yardage, and maybe 6 points too.
Greg Zuerlein out for the opening kick. And away we go from East Rutherford. Deontay Hardy to return. And a decent return ends as they bring him down inside the 30. So the Ravens offense taking over for the first time here. And they're brought out by someone who is the modern example of an elite running quarterback, the multiple-time MVP, Lamar Jackson.
A decade plus before Lamar, it was a guy named Michael Vick who was the standard for dual-threat quarterbacks. Well, today, that standard is Lamar Jackson, who at his best is an MVP-caliber player and the most exciting player, not just at his position, but in all of football. And don't let that running overshadow the strides he's made as a passer, too, in the pocket and as a franchise quarterback to build upon.
The drive begins with Henry, and he's caught behind the line for a loss.
Well, he was supposed to be the one who chipped away a few and got a new set of downs started right in rhythm. Instead, he's now forced to pick himself from behind the line thanks to a great effort defensively.
Everyone's prepped. It's second down now. They've got a man in motion. 2nd and 12 behind the sticks. Pass into the hands of Mark Andrews. And they'll take him down at the 43-yard line. Give him 18 yards on that play, Brock, and it gets him a first down.
You know what I like about that, Kate? I like that they're not coming out slow. They're willing to go with some looks here that will yield big yardage down the field instead of just settling for dinking and dunking the ball.
First down, here's Lamar. He lets one fly deep downfield. And oh, he drops the deep shot. A big play to start the game, but it slips through incomplete.
With how hard it is to get an open look downfield, you can't let the coverage off the hook with the drop. Saw open space, started running before he was able to watch the ball into his hands.
Lamar off the play fake. He's trying another one deep. And it looks great flying through the air, Brock, but problems on the business end as it falls to the ground. Third down coming up.
You know, there's not a lot of tight ends who are true weapons this far down the field. And not a lot of cover guys who can match up with them in terms of size. They tried to get it to him in a spot where he could win it, but no connection to be made.
Motioning one of the tight ends. Jackson now on third. Makes the grab in bounds, left side. Give him 32 on the play. And that'll be first down, Baltimore.
Now, right there, that's what you want to see on your opening drive. Boom! Connect on a big shot, and instantly you set a tone that you're not going to be afraid to be aggressive in this game today. Boy, do I love that.
Now they'll hit the line just outside the red zone following that big play. Motioning the tight end now. First and 10. Here's Jackson. Andrews with the catch. And they bring him down at the 18-yard line.
That is the epitome of staying on schedule. That kind of completion right there on first down. Well, it opens up the entirety of the playbook for second down. And with 3rd and short in your back pocket, you can get even more aggressive and take that shot.
After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. Lamar throwing again. Complete, Derrick Henry. And they'll advance this down to the 5-yard line. That's a gain of 13, and it sets them up with 1st and goal.
I'm sure coach and play caller doesn't mind making the job a little bit easier. You know, play calling's a lot simpler and easier when you count on the offense to move the chains on those early downs.
This drive has been excellent. A few shots now. It's starting with 6 as they come up on it. 1st and goal. And he powers through the middle for a gain of 4.
Hey, I get it on 1st and goal, right? A lot of teams like to be conservative and limit risk. Even if a run is stopped short, you still got 2, sometimes 3 downs to play with.
Now it's 2nd and goal from the 1. And that hit stops him in his tracks. It looked like they had it, but nope, no gain, and now they're just inches short for 3rd down.
Hey, I know 3rd and 1 feels like an automatic running down, but after seeing that last play yield you nothing, this offense and that coordinator's got a seed of doubt. This defense playing some mind games with them.
Henry, and he runs it across, touchdown! The Ravens finish up an excellent opening series. Derrick Henry, the touchdown. Well, you couldn't ask for a better start to a game than that. The offense taking it all the way down the field and finishing with 6.
These opening drives, Kate, are such tone setters. It is why every offense loves to script their first 15 plays, right? Everybody knows what's coming. Allows you during the practice week to get into rhythm, but even better when you're that sharp, that crisp, and you finish off and get the early lead.
Justin Tucker to try the point after. The point after splits the uprights. And the Ravens will jump out to a 7-0 lead. Now Tucker on to handle the kickoff. On the return, here comes Kene Wangu. He stopped on the return at the 27. So the Jets take the field for their first drive. They're led out by one of the game's most tenured veterans and most decorated quarterbacks of all time, Aaron Rodgers.
I think it's safe to say, Kate, Aaron Rodgers may be one of the most polarizing figures in the NFL, but there is nobody that will question his ability to spin a football different than everybody else. Just ask his receivers, tight ends, running backs, anybody that's ever played with him. He elevates their game, and he often elevates his own game to an MVP kind of level.
First down throw by Rodgers. That's caught. It's Breece Hall. It's a pickup of 11. And it'll give the Jets a first down.
I love throwing on first down. And when you see a first down pass just like that, it's taking advantage of a matchup you planned for, and you go out and execute.
Markers reset, ball at the 37. First down, Rodgers. Flushed out of the pocket. And they get to him as he was trying to make something happen. And the big play drives them backwards. Second down coming up.
All right, first sack on the board on the first drive as a defense. And now, well, now we let the chess match begin. The adjustments begin because we know pressure leads to sacks. And sacks in this league often leads to wins.
Offense to the line for second down. Here's Breece Hall on the ground for the first time. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
This offense may want to try and disguise their run a little bit. I don't know if it's the O-lineman's stance. I don't know if it's a cadence. I don't know what it is, but after 2 straight plays going backwards, this defense is all over them.
This drive in some serious trouble. It's 3rd and 12. Escapes the... Trying to get away from the pressure, but he can't, and they drop him. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of 4th down.
Couple sacks on the opening drive. You better get to fix-it mode in a hurry. And I'm talking about on the sidelines. I'm talking as a quarterback. You've got to solve this pass rush because we know one thing about guys in this league defensively. When they get a couple sacks, they can smell it, and they're going to raise the intensity to another level.
So on 4th down, the Jets turn to a fan favorite. It's Thomas Morstead to punt it away. He sends this away, and oh, this is going to be a field flipper. And he can't evade the coverage team for much. They stop him before he gets really anything on that return. Call that a 64-yard punt officially. And the Ravens will go on offense. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. They bring a tight end in motion right. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Finds his man. It's Rashad Bateman. And he'll push this upfield and earn them a new set of downs.
Well, that is pretty darn impeccable timing between the two. To hit a curl route of that length, it takes great anticipation and precision by the quarterback, and the receiver on the other end finishing it, doing his job.
Here's Henry running left. And he's brought down for a loss.
Perception and reality, Kate. The perception out there from the public is edge rushers are defined by their sacks. The reality in a locker room and in the huddle is you could be defined by your relentlessness. And his motor never stopped. Helped him track it down for a loss on the outside.
Lamar now from the gun. Hits him on the out route. They got 24 yards on the play. And that's good for a Ravens 1st down.
I think my favorite part was the magic he worked after the catch. The way he took the completion and made so much more out of it by adding all the extra yardage.
New set of downs for him at the 38. On 1st down, Jackson. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. Got the one-on-one they wanted, Brock, on that slant, but just not enough to get the completion.
Yeah, you got to create separation. We all love the slant route. It could be super effective, but you got to beat press. You got to beat jam. You got to beat off man, and you got to create separation so there's not that bang-bang impact to knock the ball loose like that.
Has him on the quick hitter. And they take him down right along the 30.
You know what I love to say? You never go broke taking a profit, and you often gain profits when you use your eyes as a quarterback. Those hitch routes, those underneath throws, oftentimes it's the eyes of the quarterback looking downfield and then taking that short completion.
And it's a nickel look from the Jets, 3rd down. A little touch pass here, trying to move the chains. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
Biggest difference in the college NFL game, we know this, Kate, it's matchups. Right, that college game, so much more space with the wide hash marks. Not so much in the NFL. You've got to cultivate one-on-ones, cultivate matchups. Using the receiver as a runner, that was a matchup successful for this offense.
Throwing now on 1st down, it's Jackson. It's incomplete. Should have been a catch downfield, but off his hands and to the ground it goes.
I'm not sure if he was hearing footsteps or he just had a surprise break in concentration. It's so unusual at this level to see a drop pass unless there's a hit involved.
So after the incompletion, here comes the 2nd down call. They'll motion him out of the backfield. Jackson's gonna throw again. Completed to Flowers. And he gets this forward to the 19.
Good luck defending that short yardage slant. Just not going to happen. There's a reason this is a go-to play for just about any quarterback in every situation.
3rd and 4 coming up now. Tight end in motion right. Again, it's Jackson to the air. Bails out of the pocket quick. And this time they're going to get there, and they drop him. And the defense comes through. That's going to back him up and bring up 4th down.
This defense has been trying like mad to do anything to disrupt the rhythm, get the QB off his spot. It's got to be a massive relief to see their efforts paid off on that play.
Staring at 4th down, the Ravens will go with Justin Tucker to try for 3. Ball on the left hash, 37 yards out. Bullock's kick is good. And that one was hit great. It sails on through without incident.
Well, that's the type of long, sustained drive that takes some of the starch out of your opponent. The only negative is that the kicking team was out there for a field goal and not an extra point. But they do come away with 3.
Now Tucker on to handle the kickoff. Xavier Gibson now to return. He stopped on the return at the 27. The second drive coming up now for the Jets offense. And they're certainly hoping for some better results here after that first drive ended in a punt. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. They start the drive with Hall. And he found some running room for a nice gain. It's an 8-yard pickup, and they're going to have 2nd and 2 next.
Well, that doesn't net a first down. You get yards like that in the run game, you will take it in the NFL.
After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short. They go right back to Hall. And he's dropped just short of the marker, maybe a yard away.
Okay, that's a run that's ho-hum on the stat sheet, but if you see a bigger play on the ground later on, it'll largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door for a bigger gap in the future.
3rd down, 1 yard to go. To throw is Rogers. Complete beyond the marker. And he goes out close to that 45-yard line. A 7-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
You're not going to last long in the National Football League if you don't convert a good chunk of your 3rd downs. Nice find there to continue the series.
Let's see how they attack this 1st down, Brock, from the 43. Shotgun snap, a give to Hall. He gets it forward for a gain of 3. Stopping that play, Trenton Simpson. Give him a few yards on that run. It's 2nd and 7.
Hey, we know running the ball in the NFL is hard, and that play pretty indicative of it. Here's the key, though. At the end of the game, those type of plays got to be in the minority, and the majority have got to do some damage.
From the 46. He's on the move. He takes it himself. They come through with a nice gain of 10 and a 1st down.
You know, before the snap, right before the snap, you may have to take off if the read isn't there. That was a great adjustment made at the perfect time for the 1st down.
From the 44-yard line now, 1st and 10. They'll go right side with Hall. And it's a nice little chunk here, 6 yards. The rangy Kyle Hamilton getting there for the stop. He managed 6 on the play, bringing up 2nd and 4.
It's got to be so demoralizing as a defense when you go up against a running back who just keeps those legs churning. like a piston in an engine, and that effort's contagious. This entire offense is getting a boost when he busts those tackles.
The give on second to Hall. And he breaks even, but that's it. Brought down at that line of scrimmage. Stopped by one of the league's best tacklers, Roquan Smith. They'll need 4 to convert now after no gain on second down.
You know, Kate, over the years, I've heard running backs say there's just times you got to run in the darkness. And when linebackers fill that hole like that right in the middle of the field, he ran right into the darkness and the pain of that linebacker.
He's got to... Pocket isn't holding up. They're able to drop him. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of fourth down.
I know quarterbacks get paid a lot of money and a lot of glamour in this league, but today, well, this is a tough day for this QB. He's taking a beating. And whether it means changing up some of the blocking schemes, maybe mixing in a little bit of run, or heck, this quarterback getting the ball out of his hand more quickly, he's got to start protecting himself.
Here comes the punting unit for the Jets. And he wants to hit his second effort just as well as he hit his first. His first punt went 50. This is away and looks even better. And this one ventures out of play on the fly. The question is where it's marked. Looks like they'll say the 17-yard line. Now Baltimore returning its offense to the field of play. And their last drive did end in points. Not as many as they wanted, though. They had to settle for that field goal despite advancing the football pretty well. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. Shotgun snap to Jackson. He's got Andrews. He's got a gain of 6 there. Quincy Williams making the tackle.
That is a textbook first down completion. Sets up second and very manageable and creates space to take that shot downfield.
After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. From the 23. Splits a couple of defenders and completes it. And he's tackled with the 1st down yardage.
That's just great instincts. Go air it out on 2nd down rather than just play conservative and run it. They hit a weak point in the coverage and don't need to worry about 3rd down at all.
He brings the offense up now for a 1st and 10. From the gun, Jackson hits him on the in route. And he'll get it out to the 34 before he's tracked down.
That's what you call efficiency. Exactly what you're looking for on 1st down. Textbook. It sets up 2nd and very manageable, and then creates that space if you want to take a shot downfield.
2nd and 3 now. Play action now with Jackson. That's taken in by Henry. And he's caught behind the line for a loss.
That just might be a throw he regretted as soon as you let it go. I know that feeling. He was doing all he could to find a completion down the field, but they were all over that check down and ready to turn it into a negative play.
So now here's 3rd and 5. And again, it's Jackson. On the move, headed right. He'll make a bid for it on the ground. Give him an even 10 yards on the play. And that'll be 1st down, Baltimore.
You know, that's one of those little mental Rolodex plays. Right before the snap, you know if the read isn't there, that option isn't there, you can use your legs to make the adjustment and go get the 1st down.
They'll head up 1st and 10 from the 42. Trying down the middle with Henry. And they'll get him down after he gets into the 48. They come through with a nice gain there. Gain of 10, 1st down.
Offensive coordinators tell us all the time, big runs only happen with coordinated efforts. Great blocking to spring them. Guys hitting blocks downfield, and a back who can show off his wheels.
The tight end going in motion right. 1st down, here's Lamar. And he's going to go down. Jets brought the pressure and got to him. And the big play drives them backwards. 2nd down coming up.
And right there's the danger, Kate. When you put the ball in the air, how many times do we see these coordinators, when you get a nice run, right, you gain some steam on the ground, you stick with the ground game. They don't, they call the pass, and the defense reacts, and reacts well with a sack.
Let's see what they dial up on a second and very long. They will not get another play off. We're at the end of one. It's a 10-0 ball game. More from MetLife coming right up. Back at beginning of the second quarter, Ravens in possession. They have second down behind the sticks. A give to Henry on the inside handoff. He's forward, gets a couple of yards. Tackle made by Chuck Clark. Couple yards there on second down, and now a long ways to go on third.
You know, Kate, I like to call these body blows. Body blows. You got to be committed to running the football. Even if it doesn't move the chains, I guarantee you that wear and tear will pay dividends later.
Third and long for him here. The Jets get there and bring him down. And the defense comes through. That's going to back him up and bring up fourth down.
This guy, Kate, he can create. He really is good out there. He's skilled when it comes to getting outside the pocket, which makes it all the more impressive. They contained him so well when he was clearly looking to generate something with his legs.
The Ravens going to punt this away, and here's Jordan Stout to handle that boot. And this one is away, and he got all of it and then some. This lands deep into the end zone. We're picking things up at the 20 after the touchback. Now here comes the New York offense. And they're hoping they can keep the punter off the field this time around, Brock, after he's been called upon each of their first two possessions. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. This might be a free play for him. He's got the hook up to Adams. And this play heads out of bounds. Marker down, though, Brock. Could be some free yards here. So after some careful consideration, they're going to go ahead and decline the penalty. They've got first down from the 31. Hall takes it straight ahead. And they're able to grind him to a halt after a pickup of 4.
He'll expect more from himself on those type of plays, but there is nobody that's going to complain about that one. If you can do math, 4 + 4 + 4 equals a first down.
2nd and 6 coming up here. Here's Hall once more. And they've got him behind the line for a big loss.
I know from the position of the quarterback, Kate, sometimes you hand that ball, you put it in the belly of the running back, and you send him right into the teeth of a buzzsaw. You can feel it from the jump, and that call from the defense, well, it came at the perfect time.
Rodgers throwing on 3rd down. Setting up the running back screen. And he's brought down after a short gain.
It's plays like that, Kate, right, wrong, where I sit and judge a defense. I judge the awareness. I judge how well that coordinator's got him equipped to see what's going on the field, and not just see it, but attack it. And they devoured that screen game on 3rd down.
Punter takes the field on 4th down, and he sends this one flying. And the coverage team is there as he fields it, so almost nothing on that return before he stopped. That punt goes 63 yards. And they're going to take over possession. They're out and set, 1st and 10. Henry gets it here to start the drive. And he's just spinning his wheels, man, this entire first half. They drop him behind the line.
This is one of those situations, Kate, where I watch the body language of the running back because it'd be very easy for him to raise his hands up, look to the sideline in his O-line and go, what am I supposed to do there? There was nothing, no time at all to try and escape and react. Instead, it goes backwards.
Out of the gun, here's Jackson. Gets this to Bateman. And they'll manage to contain him after about a 6-yard pickup. That was Sauce Gardner dropping him there.
I feel so bad, I really do, and I don't mean this sarcastically, Kate. I feel bad for these guys in coverage. I don't know how you defend some of these players today because they get that drag route, they get one step inside of you, well, there's very little you can do other than make the tackle.
Escapes the pocket, and this time they're going to get there, and they drop him. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of 4th down.
Yeah, this is one of the occasions, Kate, where this defense got to just keep chopping wood. Keep chopping wood. I know they're a little more careful about actually having axes in locker rooms anymore after injuries, but the mantra is the same. You can't look at the scoreboard nor worry about what your offense is doing. You got to keep punishing your opponent.
Jordan Stout on now to punt. And this is the 2nd time he's been brought on to kick it. Absolutely crushed his first punt, and here's another huge one. And he's brought down before the return gets far. The kicking team got downfield quickly there. He didn't manage much on the return. And it'll be Jets football. They're set up at the 35 now. First down throw by Rodgers. Has a man, it's Tyler Conklin. And they'll take him down at the 43-yard line.
That can be a hopeless feeling when you fire a curl route right into zone coverage perfectly like that. Unless that curl happens to be right next to where one of your guys is sitting, that pass can hum in there and there's nothing this defense can do.
After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short. Hall running between the tackles. And he'll get them enough for a first down.
I don't know about you, Kate, but he sure made getting that first down look really easy. A lot easier than it's supposed to be for that defense. And I think they'll hear about it when they get to the sidelines.
New set of downs for him from the 46. To the air here on first down, Rodgers. He's on the move. Oh, he was on the move, but so was the defense, and they take him down. And the big play drives them backwards. 2nd down coming up.
Kate, you can give him much of the credit for this early lead. Heck, give every player in that defense now their 4th sack of this game credit, because that ambush on the quarterback, a big reason why they're in control of this game.
Back to the line they go. It's 2nd down. From the gun, it's Hall. And he stopped after running it up across the 45 to the 46. He finds him 7 yards. That's going to bring up 3rd and 10.
So much to like about that run, Kate, particularly what he was able to get out of it. The defense, I think, feels a little fortunate they were able to track him down before an even bigger run and crossing that first down marker.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Has his man, it's Corley. And he's brought down right in the neighborhood of that 40-yard line. He picks up 15 on the play. And it's good enough for a New York first down.
You know, they call that the money down for a reason, because you're just simply not going to last long in the NFL if you don't convert a good portion of your 3rd downs. It's the money down. And nice to see them roll the dice and continue the series.
First down now, ball at the 39-yard line. They're running the option, short side. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
It's easy for me to say up here in the friendly confines of the booth, Kate, but that was not the right read. And you hate seeing him absorb yet another hit at the end of the play. You never want him taking unnecessary shots throughout this game.
From the shotgun, Rodgers. Into the hands of Garrett Wilson. And he's brought down at about that 27-yard line. It's a pickup of 14 yards as the chains reset.
Kate, when Bill Walsh was implementing the drag route with the 49ers in the 80s, it sounded the same way as it did with Mike Holmgren and me with the Seahawks in the 2000s versus man on a drag route, run away. You see zone coverage, settle down, give your quarterback his numbers, and you can find a completion just like that.
And his perfect start is over. And that's the first one of his throws to wind up incomplete.
You know, that is so hard to do. That's called body control. Great positioning to swat the ball away, not go through the receiver, no penalty flag. He's got the body control and, more importantly, the timing to knock that ball away.
Here's Hall, and he's brought down for a loss.
This is one of those plays that I wish we had the huddle mic'd up, Kate, because I can assure you that offensive line in their own way is telling that running back, sorry, we did not give you any chance.
Wonder what's in the playbook here as they come up on 3rd and 11. Rodgers here from the gun. He has the first over the middle. And they get this down to the 10-yard line before going down. That'll go for an 18-yard gain. And it'll give the Jets a first down.
I may love watching a great thrower, but I love watching a well-done route too, Kate. Make that guy think you're trying to stack him only to drop your hips and cut right inside. Some good work to help reset those chains.
The drive picks up here, 1st and 10. Working inside the red zone. And he takes it in. Touchdown, New York! The Jets start to fight back with their first points of this game. Breece Hall with the touchdown. So the offense showing a slightly different dimension there, Brock, getting the running back involved with his hands for the touchdown.
Yeah, such an advantage. I think when you think about it, Kate, it really is about the 80s where we start to see these running backs not just tote the ball as runners, but be real weapons when they get the ball in the passing game.
Yeah.
That's well done.
Greg Zuerlein for the point after try. Extra point sent right down the middle. And the Jets cut it to a field goal game. Volley set up, and it's away. Just a 3-point game now. Hardy on the return. He stopped on the return at the 27. Now the Ravens all set for another possession. They didn't add to their lead last time out. They punted it away, but still ahead and able to add to it here. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. Here's Henry on the option. And he found some running room for a nice gain. Call it 7 yards, and now they'll have 2nd down and 3.
That's a run that you'll take the result in the NFL every time. A nice play, a solid gain, but it's also a run that you know, and you may come back to. Because if you were that close to breaking off an explosive one, you really break the backs of a defense.
Short side option here. He's running left. And he's brought down after a nice gain and a first down.
That right there, that will make the coaches happy. He didn't just get the first down, but got a healthy chunk of bonus yards afterwards.
They have themselves another 1st and 10. Oh, here's another option. This one going right. And he's caught behind the line for a loss.
On these 1st and 10 calls, defenses are always keyed in that a run might be coming their way. And as soon as the QB turned to give the ball, the entire defense came crashing in to bury them for a loss.
All right, here we go. 2nd down. From the gun, a run for Henry. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
This coordinator tried to show some trust and belief in his offense. A run after a negative run? Well, you lose a lot of equity and belief in that coordinator. I don't think he's going to try a 3rd run after back-to-back negative losses.
Here he is on 3rd and long. He'll dump this one off to his running back, complete. And this one doesn't go far.
I call this quarterback's best friend. Some call it a safety valve, some call it automatic, but it's sure nice as a quarterback when you got a trusty running back over the middle of the field that you can depend on.
Baltimore lined up in punt formation. Xavier Gipson on to return for the Jets. And he's certainly been staying busy. Once again, he's out to punt and sends this flying. And this will fly out of bounds to deny a return. They're going to mark it a little before the 20. The Jets offense now set to take over. And they're coming off an excellent series throwing the football that led to that touchdown, Brock. So you and I both expecting that defense to be looking for that on this series. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, it's Rodgers. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete. Wanted to fit that one into Devontae Adams. And it sets up 2nd down.
I think that was a throw, Kate, that just came a little bit too late. What it did is it gave that defense time to come up and deliver a pop and knock the ball loose before he could secure it fully.
2nd and 10 now. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete.
Timing is everything in life. Timing is everything defensively. That throw was just a little bit late and gave the defense time to close, deliver a pop, and knock that ball loose.
Last pass unsuccessful, and they have 3rd down here. Rodgers here off the play action. He fires one deep down the left sideline. Has it left side, Brock, but the throw carried him too close to that edge. I'm going to say he brought it in out of bounds, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
Defensive coaches in the NFL say it all the time. Limit the big play. Keep these guys in front of you. Well, this defense is going to have to stay vigilant because this receiver, he could take the lid off a defense at any time.
4th down, and on comes the punt team, and the kick's away. Starts his return from the 23. And he gets his guys a few yards before they bring him down on the return. That's going to be a highlight there, a 68-yard punt. And it'll be their football. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. The drive begins with Henry. And they love to see him fighting forward, but he only gets them 3.
Hey, not a bad play by any means, but there's room for more, and they know it.
Second down now, 7 to go. Lamar now from the gun. Andrews with the catch. He's descended upon quickly and dropped after looks like a yard gain. Tackle made by Chuck Clark.
He's just one of those guys, Kate. Even when he's not open, he's still a target thanks to that physicality and his ability to just play bully ball. They don't like forcing into coverage, but sometimes when you got a bully like him that can create space, you just find a way to get him the ball.
Jackson now on 3rd. Henry on the catch. And he's going to be brought down at the 42. It's a pickup of 9 yards. And that's good for a Ravens 1st down.
This dude's just simply got a nose for the marker no matter how they get him the ball, Kate. Hand it to him, and he sniffs out that first down. Get it to him on a screen, and it's no different. He surges ahead and keeps this drive moving.
They'll head up 1st and 10 from the 42. Out of the gun, Henry. And he's brought down for a loss.
I talked to a bunch of different GMs, Kate, especially around draft time, and they all say the same thing. Linebackers are so hard to find. It's hard to transition from the college game that's in so much space to this game where you've got to play in a phone booth, yet have that explosiveness to chase a play on the outside down like that linebacker just did.
This is Henry on second. He gets forward, and that's about 4 yards. Quincy Williams making the tackle.
Yeah, that defense was flying to the ball. You see that outside toss. This is a pursuit drill that they work on over and over again. Get to that toss before it can really get started.
3rd and 6 for them to figure out now. Shotgun snap to Jackson. Flushed out of the pocket. He's running for it. And they're going to bring him down just as we've come up to the 2-minute warning. New set of downs for him from the 46. Throwing now on 1st down, it's Jackson. Connects with Bateman. And they make this stop, we're going to say at about the 37-yard line.
It's not just imperative that a quarterback knows man or zone. Same thing for a receiver, especially on a drag route. When he sees zone coverage like that, just settle down, find the soft spot, and give your quarterback a chance.
Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. From the gun, Jackson. Why not go back to it again if it's working? Complete. And they bring him down around the 34. This one goes for 3 yards. And that'll be 1st down, Baltimore.
It sure seemed like he knew exactly where he was going with that right off the snap.
Here's 1st and 10 from the 34. Here's Jackson to throw. Into the hands of Likely. And that's good for a gain of 5. Tackle made by Chuck Clark.
Well, that's a pretty similar result to a 1st down run play. Moves it forward, keeps you on schedule, and makes 2nd and 3rd down a whole lot easier to manage.
Halfway to the marker, it's 2nd and 5. Lamar throwing again. This finds Likely. And he stopped just before he reaches the red zone at the 21. 8 yards on the gain, and the drive continues forward.
Sure seems like he knew exactly what he wanted, and he got it, going right where he wanted to with the ball off the snap.
To the line we go. They're set, 1st and 10. Jackson's gonna throw again. Bateman hauls it in. And he's got a decent gain before being brought down. Now we're gonna have a timeout taken by Baltimore. It's 2nd. And they still have one in their pocket for what's left of this half. Second and 6 coming up here. Jackson yet again. He'll get this to Henry. And he's brought down a little short. No, actually they do give him the 10-yard line. Now just before the break, a timeout taken by the offense, and they can try for some points going into the break. Ravens call in on Justin Tucker for the field goal. He's hit once already. This is a short one, inside of 30 yards. Tucker's kick is up and good. And that'll double their lead to 6.
Okay, one of the areas that kickers and quarterbacks are similar, they want to get into rhythm, and no better way to feel good and get into that rhythm than start a game 2 for 2 as a kicker.
Well, Brock, barring the touchback, this kickoff should run out the half, so better make that return good as it's away. And the kickoff is into and then out of the end zone. Touchback, this drive starting from the 30. Here comes the final play of our first half. One final shot before halftime. He's gonna lob one deep down the left sideline. And he has it along the sideline, but he got a little too close to that edge. They're gonna say he's out of bounds. We've got second down. So we've reached the halftime break. It's the Ravens leading so far on the road. Now down the coast we go to Orlando, Florida, in our studio there. Jonathan Coachman waiting by with the EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Kate, sit tight. We'll get back to you and Brock in just a moment. But for now, this is our halftime report.
As always, a hat tip to Coach for his hard work during the break, as we're happy to welcome y'all back for the start of our third quarter. Now Tucker on to handle the kickoff. Gibson now to return. And he's going to make this to the 28 before going down. So to begin the third quarter, the New York offense returning to the field. They'll try to get that ground game established better than they did in the opening half, Brock. See if they can attack that deficit. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Rodgers set to pass. Into the hands of Conklin. And this one's brought to a halt at about the 36-yard line.
Quarterbacks will look for their tight end short in just about any situation. They take away the deeper options. Well, there's their consistent source of positive yardage, the trusty tight end.
After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short. They start the half with a give to Hall. And he's caught behind the line for a loss.
Kate, it's amazing how fast these guys are on the field and how fast your fortunes can turn. 2nd and short run, you're feeling good about yourself. But with a negative play, well, now comes a critical 3rd down.
Chance to move the chains here on 3rd and 4. Rodgers to throw. And down he goes. The Ravens defense gets it done. And the defense comes through. That's going to back them up and bring up 4th down.
That sure ended up being a worst-case scenario. Pass rush just kept coming and bearing down. And he was looking for an escape that wasn't there. It's just one of those plays in hindsight, Kate, where you really got to understand, I got to cut bait, cut my losses, and avoid such a negative play.
Their punter making his way out now. And after that drive went backwards, he's going to send this one forward. He sends this away, and oh, this is going to be a field flipper. And he's getting nothing on that return. They wrap him up almost at the exact spot that he fielded that punt. The Ravens and Lamar Jackson ready to go again on offense. And he has continued to own this defense and keep on throwing that football, partner, making this performance one that he's going to remember, but as you like to say, the defense would probably rather forget. They're out and set, 1st and 10. Third quarter starts with a run from Henry. And the defense is all over this one for a big loss.
His goal's pretty clear, Kate. Crash forward and then crash inside. Set that edge, but if you can come inside and bury that runner before it gets started, all the better.
Everyone's prepped. It's 2nd down now. Lamar off the play fake. Gets this to Bateman. And he breaks into enemy territory before being stopped on a huge gain.
You know, Kate, we often talk about flipping the field in special teams, right? A kick return, a good punt. Well, an explosive play like that does the exact same thing. Look at the difference in field position. By hitting on that shot, you've totally flipped the field and the tone of this drive.
So the big play has him well into enemy territory and field goal range. They're inside the 30. On 1st and 10, it's Henry. And he'll get down to the 21-yard line before he's stopped. Good run, gets him 7. That brings up 2nd and 3.
I'm not kidding you, Kate. A run of that length at the NFL level, honestly, is the equivalent of a run of 15+ at the high school level. It's hard in the run game to make yards, and they just got a very successful one.
Play action. Here's Jackson. Has it down close. And he's brought down real close to that goal line at the 1. They rip off a big chunk of field, and it sets them up with 1st and goal.
You know I love those chunk completions. They're so critical. Those chunk plays, they lead statistically so often to scoring. And then when you get it to a tight end and play action, it's just a little icing on the cake.
1st and goal. They'll try an option to the left. And he won't salvage that. It's a loss on the play.
I'll tell you what, before the snap, I think everybody in the stadium would have said this offense was going to score on that series. The only people who didn't think that were the most important people, and that's the 11 dudes on defense that made the play.
Henry will not get past the line. He's held up at the 4.
Well, now things get a little dicey for this offense. 1 down left before a big decision to make. Do you continue to try running it against a front that stopped you, or are you now forced to put the ball in the air?
Buckle up. It's 3rd and goal. Out of the gun. Here's Jackson. And he finds him in the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. The Ravens push their lead further to start the half. You always tell me, Brock, it is a whole different world here, running routes, working in confined spaces, instead of having that whole field to spread out a defense.
Oh, spot on, Caden. Some players, that's the world they thrive in, finding windows where windows shouldn't exist and then being ready for the throw to arrive. It happens so fast, trusting your quarterback to make the right read and get it to you.
Now the Ravens offense staying put. Look at this. They're going for 2. Jackson's throwing for it. Ooh, and he can't shake the defense. They track him down in the backfield, and this 2-point attempt fails. Whenever you're throwing for 2, you always expect to see the pass go into the end zone, because otherwise you risk defenders rallying to the ball and stopping it short.
Yeah, that is spot on, Kate. With the defensive speed in today's league, gosh, you're just taking a risk anytime you throw it short of the end zone.
Now Tucker on to handle the kickoff. Wangu now to return. And pretty solid field position starting out here, Brock. He's tackled at the 29. The Jets have their offense ready to go again. And this game might be going better if he could have some more time just to work back there. This pass rush has been all over them. Really keeps taking this offense out of any grooves that they've managed to get into.
Okay, I like to say in life there's energy givers and there's energy vampires.
Yeah.
And for this defense, these sacks right here, they're such energy givers. And, man, it's like a vampire sucking the juice out of an offense.
Yeah, I love that. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. Rodgers will look to throw. And he's just going to get rid of this one. Smart move there. When you saw the field, it's going to be 2nd down. From the shotgun, Rodgers escapes the pocket.
Oh, boy. This was doomed from the start. Left the pocket in search of greener pastures, but things weren't much better on the other side.
This offense looking to convert as they come up on 3rd down. Rodgers here from the gun. Oh, they're on him, and he's dropped again. And consecutive sacks have them staring at a tough 4th down.
Kate, I've seen a one-step drop. I've seen a 3, a 5, a 7. Some of the boots and play actions to get more depth. But a 20-step drop? That's not going to cut it, except for this defense that just adds a whole bunch of negative yards to that play.
Here comes the punting unit for the Jets. And this is the 5th time he's been called upon today. Kick is away, and this one might bring rain. Wow, what a kick. His work begins at the 31. And before that return amounts to much, they bring him down. The Ravens headed back out on offense. Their quarterback returning to the field now. And he'll be happy to keep letting it fly as much as he has all game. Look at these numbers. They show just how effective he's been in captaining this offense. The Ravens in a very good field position as they come up 1st and 10. Now Jackson. He's going to try to drop it in deep right. And they can't connect on the deep look. Still a couple of snaps to play with, though, here. We've got 2nd down. Looking for his wide receiver there. And it's going to be 2nd down.
There's the importance of staying in phase as a defender. He was all over him in coverage, and that really did help force the incompletion.
Pistol snap to Jackson. Taken in by Likely. It looks like we can call it about 4 yards in the end. Will McDonald there on the tackle.
This defense didn't give up contain there, Kate. That was an instance where the more exciting plays were taken away downfield. And even looking to the tight end wasn't going to net them much.
They come to the line here, and this is 3rd and 6. Lamar now from the gun. Has him on the quick hitter. And he has it up towards midfield before he's taken down at the 47.
Feet and eyes, Kate. Feet and eyes. They so often tell the story of every position on the field. When that quarterback's feet and eyes move to his secondary read, and so often it's a tight end, well, it's incumbent on that defense to fly to the ball. You want to make that tackle, force the 4th down? It took a great defensive effort to do it.
Punt team is on now, and they get this away. So this one will go out of bounds, and they'll start the drive inside their own 30. New York taking over once again. The offense heading out. And I'm sure they're tired of bringing out the punter, Brock. They're hopefully going to give him some rest this time around and find some points to go after that lead. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, it's Rodgers. Conklin brings it in. And this one's brought to a halt at about the 36-yard line.
Sometimes when you're just looking to move it forward, get some small yards on a throw, quarterback's best friend, security blanket. And when it's a big old tight end, that's an extra bonus.
Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. From the 36. That throw finds Conklin. And he's going to bring it up to the 40-yard line before he stopped. It's a gain of 4 there. And it's good enough for a New York first down.
Move the chains! Gotta move them chains! Build momentum and keep that defense on its heels.
New slate of downs to approach here from the 40. Throwing on first down, Rodgers. That's complete to Wilson. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. A big play, 23 yards to move those chains.
That is what elite offenses are all about. Why worry about 3 downs when you need only 1? Move the chains in one play and keep driving that defense backwards.
Markers reset, ball at the 37. Throwing once again, Rodgers. And he just gets rid of it. Knew he had a couple of plays left. Didn't want to take a risk there on first down. No dice on that prior pass. Here's 2nd down. Throwing again. It's Rodgers. Has his man. It's Corley. Give him 15 yards on the pickup there. And it'll give the Jets a first down.
Kate, when you watch the combine, you'll watch guys try to make this throw. And without chemistry, it's so hard to execute. That was picture perfect. That's a QB and receiver on the same page because that route, that deep out to the field, that takes just a different level of connectedness.
Bails out of the pocket quick. He's on the move. And this almost ended worse, but he gets a yard out of it. That's Odafe Owe with a stop.
Just not much to do right there, whether he wanted to run it or throw it. Even if he scraped a positive gain out of it, that's still a win for this defense.
They'll come to the line here, 2nd and 9. It's Hall on the carry. And hopefully a bit of a wake-up for their ground game. It's a solid pickup there on the play. Give him 4 on that run. That's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
When you don't have great success on first down, Kate, it's a little bit like a hitter in baseball falling behind in the count. And all you want to do as a hitter is get back to a fighting chance. Give yourself a better count. That play, well, it does the same here. Now a much more manageable and opportune 3rd down situation.
That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. Tough one to retain through that hit. And that leaves them with 4th and 5. You go middle of the field against zone coverage, Brock. You know this firsthand. You are throwing into rush hour, and there aren't a lot of easy completions to be found in that part of the field.
Yeah, and a lot of those throws, Kate, you're signing your guy up to take some sort of hit. It's on you to protect your guys. Credit that defense for flying around and making the play. You always feel like you leave a few points on the field when you kick it from here, but they don't wind up empty-handed on the drive. And the kicker, well, he gets to pad his stats a little bit with a high percentage make.
So we've got ourselves a 9-point game now as they'll kick this off. Hardy on the return. He stopped on the return at the 27. This offense headed back to the field, led by their receiver. They were only on the field for 3 plays their prior series, Brock. Let's see what changes they make to take over here. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. Shotgun snap to Jackson. Throw left side, complete. And this one's brought to a halt at about the 36-yard line. Nice spot here for the offense. It's 2nd and 1. From the gun, Jackson. He finds Aguilar. And he's going to be brought down at the 42. They get 6 and a first down as well.
Nice to see that connection, that chemistry working between the two of them.
They'll head up 1st and 10 from the 42. Out of the option, he's going to keep it going right. And he's able to reach the 40 on that play. They'll get 18 yards there. And that's good for a Ravens first down.
When they drop these plays for the quarterback, these are the type of results they're expecting, Kate. Something that could tear a hole in the defense, move the chains, and just as importantly, and maybe most importantly, put a seed of doubt and thought into that defensive mind that the QB can run at any time.
Tight end in motion left. First down, here's Lamar. And no look there, and that throw falls to the ground.
Can't cover it much better than that. Really well covered, Kate, on that play. There just simply was not a window for him to sneak that throw in.
Couldn't connect on first. It's 2nd down. They go play fake with Jackson. Forced out to his right. And they get to him as he was trying to make something happen. And they're going to have to regroup after this one.
That's now a handful of sacks for the defense and a handful of bruises for the quarterback. Consider this, Kate. Truly elite defenses in this league, well, they average just over 3 sacks a game during an entire season. You put up 5 in a contest, you're playing like one of the league's best.
Jackson now on 3rd. He's on the move. And he's brought down at the line.
That's a really good job by the defense right there. Doing something I hear all the time in coaches' meetings. I want to keep that quarterback in the box. I want to put a fence around him. Don't want to let him get out and make a big play breaking the pocket.
Staring at 4th down, the Ravens will go with Justin Tucker to try for 3. He better get all of this one. It's got a ways to go. And this one had a brief chance, but not a good kick in the end. He misses it. And they'll continue to lead by 9.
Well, once you get out beyond 50 yards, everything in the process has got to be perfect. It's a good effort, but it's going to wind up off the mark.
The Jets out to begin another drive. And they brought out their kicker for a field goal their last possession. This time they'll look to bring him out for an extra point instead. Nice field position for the Jets as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start this one out with Hall. And hopefully a bit of a wake-up for their ground game. It's a solid pickup there on the play. Solid 4-yard gain there, and now they've got 2nd and 6 coming up.
You know, these are the kind of runs, Kate, that a balanced game plan and a balanced offense is built on. It gets you good yardage, it sets up your play action, and it keeps that defense honest.
They give on 2nd to Hall. And defenders are there to get him at the line. Stopped by one of the league's best tacklers, Roquan Smith. Looks like no gain on 2nd down, and that leads us to 3rd and 6.
You want to see the term read and react with a little video in the football dictionary? That's it.
3rd and 6 for them to figure out now. Rodgers to throw. He puts some air under this one, deep right. And disaster averted. He knocks away the deep ball, incomplete.
You know, I don't fault that look at all, Kate, downfield. It was just an excellent defensive play to deny him the ball and knock it away. That is good on good.
Punting unit out now. And this is going to put him up to 6 punts today. The punt's away, and this one looking good. Angled this one for the sideline. And this one is out of bounds, no return on the kick. Baltimore running its offense out now. They could only set up a lengthy field goal attempt their last possession, Brock, so some room to improve in how far they can advance the football here. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Back to throw. Here's Jackson. He goes back to him yet again. Complete. How about 29 yards on that play, partner, as they get the chains reset?
Wow, certainly found the weak spot in the coverage with that catch. Really goes to show they trust every single player, receiver, running back, in that case, tight end, to be a playmaker in this offense.
One play in, and this drive is already into enemy territory. Short side option here. He's running left. He'll work it a couple of yards past the line. Quincy Williams making the tackle. Only 2 yards, and it brings up 2nd and 8.
It may not show up as much on the old stat sheet, just a short little QB run, but what that does, Kate, is so important. Keeps that defense honest, and in particular, those defensive linemen, those cleats in the ground, they're not just coming after you in the pocket. Now they've got to think about you as a runner as well.
2nd and 8. And he just got it away before the hit, but the pass winds up incomplete. It's going to be 3rd down.
This is why we hear about closing speed so often when you evaluate players. You know, once he senses the pressure, he's getting rid of that ball. It takes a player who can close quickly to get to him before it's released and alter that throw.
To the air, 3rd and long. Escapes the pocket. Trying to get away from the pressure, but he can't, and they drop him. And the defense comes through to back him up ahead of 4th down.
Time we offered some serious blanket praise for this entire group defensively. The guys up front, they've certainly generated the pressure. Everybody on the back end in coverage, well, they're holding down their assignments to delay these throws. This is going to be one tomorrow, one fun tape to watch, because 6 sacks, it's hard to come by in this league.
The Ravens getting ready for the punt. And they won't be able to return this one as it sails out of bounds. Another drive coming up for this offense. They're out and set, 1st and 10. They start the drive with Hall. And their struggles on the ground continue as he's tackled after a small gain. It's a gain of 3 for him. That brings up 2nd and 7.
You know, not a ton of yards, but still showing that commitment to the ground game. The type of run that keeps the defense from loading up in coverage and focusing entirely on that passing game.
Hall gets it again on 2nd down. Cuts it to the right sideline. That one goes for 17 yards and moves the chains.
Ooh, I like that. I really like that execution to move the chains. Now that 3rd down call that they had ready, well, they could stick it right back in their pocket for a later occasion.
Let's see how they attack this 1st down, Brock, from the 43. To throw, Rodgers. Into the hands of Conklin. And they push this down to the opposing 47-yard line.
Sure nice to see them looking for their tight ends in the passing game. Such great size to have out there. It really forces defenses to try to find a way to defend them along with everybody else.
Options are open here. It's 2nd and inches. Coming right is Hall. And he's going to be brought down after reaching the 43. It's a gain of 4. And it's good enough for a New York 1st down. So we hit the end of the 3rd quarter. The Jets have it, but some work to do in the final frame. They're trailing. Let's see how they attack this first down, Brock, from the 43. Now Rodgers. Completed over the middle. And they make the stop. We're going to say at about the 37-yard line. After a good pickup, they've got 2nd and 4. From the shotgun, Rodgers. No luck on the connection. It's incomplete.
Well covered on that play. Really not a large window for him to sneak that throw in.
No connection on the last play, and now it's 3rd down. Rodgers here from the gun. Complete beyond the marker. And he'll pick up enough to move the chains.
That's what we call situational football. You spend all week working on your nickel passing game package to take advantage of 3rd downs just like that.
A new set of downs awaits him. Here's 1st and 10. Again, Rodgers. Splits a couple of defenders and completes it. And that tackle stops him after a solid gain.
Every once in a while, it's fine to be conservative on 1st down, especially when you get enough to stay on schedule and get a little something coming out of it, too.
Halfway to the marker, it's 2nd and 5. They'll throw again, Rodgers. Cut out left. That one goes for 15, and now they're going to have 1st and goal.
You want to become a quarterback's best friend? Do that. Turn a short little gain, a short little pass into some yards after catch, and that quarterback will find you again.
They'll break the huddle and come up on 1st and goal. They'll run here. It's Hall. And he's able to power this forward, but they stop him after 2 yards.
Okay, all right. There's a little progress on 1st and goal. You keep it safe, you push a little closer, and now you're set up for what you want to do on 2nd down.
Here's 2nd and goal from the 6. Working out of the gun, it's Rodgers. He's on the move. Oh, he was on the move, but so was the defense, and they take him down. Good pressure from the defense there has them trending in the wrong direction.
Bend. Bend. Even good defenses, great defenses in this league, Kate, they're going to bend at times, but you never want to break. And when you get a sack in the red zone, well, that goes a long ways to helping your efforts.
They've held him out twice. Here we go, 3rd and goal. Blitz coming for Rodgers. He brings it in. And he'll get this inside the 10 to the 9.
You get to that money down, that 3rd down, you look to your money players, and this tight end is capable of it. But let's give some credit to the defense right there. Did an amazing job not only sticking to him, but bringing him down before he can move the chains.
So the Jets are going to try a field goal on 4th down, and Greg Zuerlein headed out. He's hit once already. This is a short one, inside of 30 yards.
This is a case of, well, just get what you can on the way out the door, Kate. It's already out of reach. Just take the 3, let your kicker get some points, and make it a hair closer in the box score.
So here's the kickoff, Brock. Just 6 points now separating our teams. This one's fielded at the 4-yard line. He stopped on the return at the 27. The Ravens are being led back out there on offense by their quarterback. And like we've seen from him before, Brock, he got a good game going early through the air and kept the pressure up from then on. He's still taking it to him now as we work through this second half. Offense ready to begin this drive. 1st and 10. They'll start this series with an option left. And this one does not go far. Just a gain of 1, and that brings up 2nd and 9.
I could promise you that's not what it looked like on the practice field nor on the whiteboard. Typically, QB run is going to net you a whole lot more yardage than that. But let's give some credit. Strong effort by that defensive front who contained a play that typically goes for a whole lot more.
Quick touch pass to the receiver. And once again, he doesn't manage much before getting brought down. Only a couple yards there, and now it's 3rd and 7.
Well, that's a tough one because you could see the beginnings of what looked like an explosive play. But let's give some credit here, Kate, to the defense. A great job to bottle him up before it came to fruition.
Motion man is the tight end here, going left. They're going to throw it on 3rd and long. This finds Likely. And he's short of the first after a mild gain.
All you can do is shake your head sometimes. Sure, the pass play works, but they come up just an inch or two short for the 1st down.
So out now comes the punter. Jordan Stout's the one to send it away. And this one is away, and he got all of it and then some. And that one comes down at the 2 before bouncing into the end zone for a touchback. Now outruns their offense to take over. And they settled for a chip shot field goal last time, Brock. You got to think they want to be able to finish it off and reach the end zone here. And the drive will start out with a 1st and 10. Shotgun snap, a give to Hall. And he'll take it up to the 30 before being brought down. They come through with a nice gain of 10 and a 1st down.
I don't know, Kate. I didn't think he had it, but that back did. He knew exactly where he had to get for the 1st down. Pops up right away and signals 1st down.
1st and 10 now from the 30. They go right back to Hall. And he's tackled for a short gain. Manages just a yard on 1st down. Now it's going to be 2nd and 9.
You know, they got some positive yards. That's a good thing. But too many plays like that, it just is too hard to pile together, get 1st downs against the better defenses in this league.
Rodgers here off the play action. He's got a man left. And they'll stand him up and sit him down at the line.
The defenders, they were ready for that throw, stopping him right at the line of scrimmage.
Drive in dire straits. It's 3rd and 9. Here's Rodgers. Put the body on the line for his team. It's a gain of 19 on the play. And it'll give the Jets a 1st down.
They've run this 12-yard out route, Kate, at the combine, well, all the way back to last century when I had to throw it. In this throw, this is a big boy throw. This is a differentiator. Can you make that deep out throw on time, on rhythm, and accurately? Well, that was teaching tape right there.
On 1st down, here comes Hall. And they'll make the stop after a short gain to the 48. Only gets a yard there to make it 2nd and 9.
Okay, this is why you got to be careful to just run it always on 1st down. You got to break your tendencies. The casual fan, well, that casual fan knew what was coming, but more importantly, this defensive front did too.
Here we go, 2nd and 9. Wilson's got it. And he's brought down after pushing to that 35-yard line. Give him 13 on that play. And it's good enough for a New York first down.
I know the Combine tries to test everything it possibly can physically, but I don't know how you test courage at the Combine because there's nobody defending you. Nobody wants to hit you. But that was the epitome of courage to make that in cut and make the catch.
Corley reels it in. And he's going to be out of bounds. Looks like a yard or two short of the 25. After a good pickup, they're set up with 2nd and short. From the gun, it's Hall. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
These edge defenders in the league today, Kate, they've got so much on their list to do. A huge to-do list. They got to get to the passer, they got to set an edge, and they got to stop that run game, not just on the end of the line, but in that case, right in the middle of the field.
3rd down give to Hall. And that run very short, only getting to the 27. Give him a couple on the run, but that run accomplishes little. It's 4th down. They'll run for it with Hall. And he's brought down for a loss. And that run won't come close. That's a turnover on downs.
Well, a blitz on 4th down's a gutsy call, but it can work against a pass or a run. Good luck running for the sticks when you got a whole defense crashing you right off the snap.
The Ravens trotting out their offense. First and 10 now from the 30. From the gun, Jackson. He lofts it deep, right sideline. That's grabbed inside the 30. It's a huge pickup on the play. And that'll be first down, Baltimore.
The analytics are pretty clear. It's hard to move the ball in this league with short little dinks and dunks. You've got to get the explosive chunk. You got to get the big play. And that throw to the outside, that gets the job done.
So the big play has him well into enemy territory and field goal range. They're inside the 30. Here's Henry on the option. And they make the stop as that play reaches the 14-yard line. They gain 14 on the play. And that's good for a Ravens first down.
To play running back in this league, well, you've got to have tremendous vision. We saw it twice. Once to find the lane upfield, and then to get to space and break off some extra yards.
They go play fake with Jackson. This one's caught. And he's brought down a little short. No, actually they do give him the 10-yard line.
Kate, I don't know why every once in a while I'll get these little flashbacks, but a little play like that just flashes me back to the preseason, my first preseason, where one of the veteran QBs said, hey, Brock, whatever you do, just find completions. You will never go broke taking a profit. Go get a completion. They're at a premium in this league.
This is Henry on second. And this time they get to him early and stick him along the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it brings up 3rd and 7.
These linebackers of today, they are so quick. They're so twitchy. You don't get a body on them in a hurry, they're going to stick you right at the line of scrimmage.
Let's see what they draw up on a 3rd and 7. Jackson looking to throw. He'll get this to Henry. And they bring him down at the 7-yard line.
You can earn your money in the NFL in all sorts of different ways, but defensively, in a league where you're just not hitting as much in training camp, you're not tackling as much as they got to in the old days, when you can make a play in the open field, keep them short like that, I promise you some money will follow.
Bullock's kick is good. And that'll make it a 2-score game.
It doesn't take a math major, Kate, to realize how important that field goal was. It's now a 2-score game really late and puts them in the driver's seat to go and finish this thing with the win.
Now Tucker on to handle the kickoff. Wangu now to return. And this will give them decent field position. The return gets out to the 30. Back out runs their offense. They liked how that drive was going, but the ending, the turnover on downs, yeah, that's something they'll try to rewrite on this series. First and 10 now from the 30. Rodgers will look to throw. Hall there to haul it in. And he's tackled after gaining a handful. The rookie from Clemson in on that stop.
Well, this is the type of game we've come to expect from him as a runner, toting the ball, but he's just as adept at turning the screen into the same kind of yardage, too.
Halfway to the marker. It's 2nd and 5. Rodgers to throw. Fits it through the middle. And they catch up to him, but not until he's got a huge gain and a first down. Wow, they get a big old 32 yards out of that play, as well as a new set of downs.
You throw it in the middle of the field, it's all about anticipation and accuracy. I mean, those are the two keys all the time in my book, Kate. But when you throw it in the middle of the field with all of the traffic, that's where guys with great anticipation and that tremendous accuracy come to life.
They'll move the chains after that pickup of 12.
They like to say it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. I think that's about the X's and the O's. That's a well-drawn-up completion that nets them a first down.
A dose of the hurry-up offense here. First down, Rodgers. Touchdown, New York! All right, so the offense does its job, Brock. Now they need their defense to give them a chance to overcome that big deficit.
The momentum in the building's clearly changed. We can feel it here in the booth, but you're right. It's now up to the defense to make a stop and give them a chance.
Zerline on now for the extra point. Right down the middle, it's good. And the Jets cut the lead down to just 2. We're down to a 2-point difference as they send the kick away. Has this at the 6. He's stopped on the return at the 27. We see the Ravens making their way out now. And this really looks like a whole different ball game after that touchdown, doesn't it? They really need to go on a drive here. Drive starts out with a 1st and 10. The drive begins with Henry. And they finally bring him down, but that is a big gain and a new set of downs. They pick up 20 yards there. And that'll be first down, Baltimore.
I'll tell you what, Kay, one of the things I'm most proud of coming out of broadcast are my O-line buddies that will hit me up during the game and say thank you. Thank you for finally showing some love and giving some light to what those big boys are doing up front. I got to play with some of the best to do it. I got to see it up close and personal. Because of it, I'll never forget it. And they just showed up on that run.
Going to the ground again on first. And he won't win the race to the outside. That run's bottled up at the line. No gain there that time, and it's 2nd and 10.
When you rush the passer, it's kind of like tracking down a runner. That same pass, same athleticism comes to life. He looked pretty good hunting his prey right there.
So we're down to the 2-minute warning here from New York. Ravens lead by only 2. 2nd and 10, need to get some positive yardage here. Running once more with Henry. And he drives this across midfield and down into enemy territory. So quickly the defense burns a timeout here. 1:57 remaining in the game. They come to the line here. This is 3rd and 6. Looking to throw. Connects with Bateman. And they get there to take him down right around the 41. And they've got themselves another 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Henry. And he's caught behind the line for a loss. Now whistles and a timeout taken quickly by the defense. 1:50 left to go. Offense to the line for 2nd down. Another run for Henry. And the defense gets there to force a small loss.
Well, they were hoping to get outside and meet those guys at the 2nd level. Well, someone from the 2nd level came to beat him on his turf. And that meeting didn't go so well.
Defense looking to defend the marker on 3rd down. Trying down the middle with Henry. And not a lot of room for him as he's brought down. Call it a lone yard on the run. It's going to be 4th down. Justin Tucker out for the field goal. A lot of pressure hovering over this kick. It's a deep shot for him from that left hash. Got all of it, and this is good! And now their lead will push out beyond a field goal.
So after that make, a field goal won't cost them a lead, but a touchdown still ties it, or likely probably puts them down a point. Okay, this is one of those moments where the defense now has clarity. They know what the stakes are and what they have to defend.
Now Tucker on to handle the kickoff. Wangu now to return. Coverage team gets him down at the 26-yard line. The Jets and Aaron Rodgers headed back out on offense. And you know this firsthand, partner. You get above that 300 mark, you and your offense are going to have plenty of highlights to choose from by this point in the game. We're getting a look at some of them now. You just got to marvel at how well he's played the quarterback position here. They'll get this drive started. 1st and 10. Here he is to throw. And he just hucks this one away. Wasn't going to risk a throw or force something. It brings up 2nd down.
That was a situation where he got the time in the pocket he needed. There just wasn't anyone open to throw it to. It got to the point he had 2 choices as that clock is going off in his head. Force a throw and risk a pick, or just get rid of it and cut your losses on the play.
He'll look to throw it. And the cover just too good there. Didn't find a throw that he was confident in, so just throws it away. 3rd down coming up.
You know, Kate, that was one of those situations where you hear a quarterback having a clock, right? You know, and he had enough time in the pocket, but then it was like, okay, time is running out, and I got to do something. He did not force a throw and risk a pick. Instead, he just got rid of it and cut his losses.
And this one falls incomplete. No miracles on the final drive today. This game is over. So the Ravens will fly home with the win. And there was no easing up. It took some white knuckling until the very end, but their defense carried that small lead through to the finish line as they escape with a victory. So for Brock Eward, our incredible crew, everybody here at EA Sports, I'm Kate Scott signing off. We'll see you next time. The Ravens are your winners as we say so long from New York.